Joining us now on the show, we have Attorney Polo Martinez, spokesperson of the Department of Justice. Good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning to the viewers.
Attorney, we are having a manhunt left and right. Let's start first with Congressman Zaldy Co, the former congressman. What is DOJ's latest verified information? Would you verify the DILG Secretary's statement that he is living in an exclusive subdivision in Portugal?
Yes, so this is the recent information that we've received. As to whether or not it is true, we have yet to actually confirm this fact, as no one has confirmed reports that he was actually cited in Portugal. What we know, though, is that if ever he is there, we don't have a standing extradition treaty with Portugal. So his retrieval or return to the Philippines will have to be done through different means other than through the normal processes of an extradition. So
that means, what are those processes? Diplomatic relations, Interpol?
that's correct. So we know that a request for red notice has been put out by the PCTC. Other than that, if an extradition cannot be done, as it cannot be because of there's no existing extradition treaty, we have diplomatic means to do so. So we know from the experience with former Congressman Arnie Teves that when he was located in Timor-Leste, notwithstanding the fact that there was no standing extradition treaty, we were able to secure his return or repatriation to the Philippines through coordination with different government agencies as well as with that of the United States government.
And has the Philippine government started communicating with the government of Portugal?
As to the best of my knowledge, we have not yet been communicating with Portugal. The law enforcement agencies have perhaps done their due diligence in seeking the aid of the European Union and countries related to Portugal. But again, it's still in the process. There has been no verified report yet that former Congressman Zaldy Co has been cited actually in Portugal. But everything is in the works.
So you have to first confirm that he is actually there. That's the first step? Or pwede nang simulan? And who would be taking the lead there? Is it the DILG Secretary? Because he is reportedly going to ask for permission to head to Portugal.
Initiatives will have to be started by the DFA. So as it is a foreign affair engagement, the DFA will have to take the prompt, to engage to coordinate with Portugal, the Portuguese government, and Portuguese law enforcement agencies in locating him. And then from there, we can then work for the supposed the claimed repatriation. But again, we're walking in thin ice here because we have to be very careful as to not make unfounded allegations as to where he may be. So again, the government is doing its part to coordinate with the different agencies to pursue this search.
But what is taking long? Because that's already a tip, right? So dapat pinapursue na. At pangalawa, is there room for negotiation here for the camp of Congressman Zaldy Co? He is reportedly sending feelers, sabi nga ni Secretary Remulla. Is there room for that, knowing that he refused initially to come back home because he was afraid for his life?
I guess ito yung mahirap dito, with the reports of supposed feelers have not been verified as well. It's hard to work with evidence that is, well, for the most part, has not yet been proven. Then the evidence, as far as we know, is just currently what word of mouth has been saying or been going around. So as up until such time, Gretchen, I think the answer to your question, what's taking so long, is up until such time that these claims can be verified or that there's evidence to back these claims up. It's hard to work with just that saying or these statements going around alone.
But certainly reaching out wouldn't take so much time, di ba? Reaching out to the Portuguese government to ask for help in somehow even just locating.
Well, that's the department. That's the DFA's
Mandate.
prerogative
Oh,
at this
oh,
point.
oh.
No, we have yet to coordinate with the DFA with respect to this. But as far as we know, no information has arrived to the Department of Justice that will confirm that that he is in Portugal.
Are you hearing of any other locations?
This is it. Portugal is the only place we received info on. So we'll look into that. The DOJ can work as soon as the DFA or any other government agency, such as the PCTC, for example, has the request for red notice has been accepted. So once we have received that information, we can then work on securing what evidence they may be giving to us.
Now let's go to the other missing man. That's Charlie Atong Ang. What was the latest on his whereabouts? Is he in Cambodia? Is he still in the Philippines? Ano yung mas maugong?
Okay, so first, I think we have to reiterate the department's stand, no, that we still believe and we are confident that he is still in the Philippines. This is because the Bureau of Immigration itself has given notice to us that there are no existing records of him ever leaving the country. That's not to discount, of course, the possibility that he may have exited the country through other channels. Whether or not that's true, we have no information because the law enforcement agencies who have been closely guarding the areas where he may have exited did not receive information or do not have did not receive reports that anything out of the ordinary has been occurring in these areas. No, so as far as we're concerned, it is very likely that he is still here. Although, just to echo the SILG, John Vic Remulla, we do not discount the possibility that he may have exited. But again, it's in the works, it's in the process.
And I just wanted to build the timeline here. No, since when has he been missing exactly? Kasi yung paglabas ng arrest warrant, hinahanap na siya, wala na siya. Are you getting more information on that and the possible leakage of information? Have you been able to build the timeline of Atong Ang's whereabouts?
Well, the fact that he is currently missing, no, just comes after the fact of the attempt to arrest him, the enforcement of the warrant. So it was only at such time that the warrant was issued and law enforcement did seek him that it was found na nawawala nga siya. So because before then, the government would not have any initiative or would not have had any basis to locate him. But so we know this. We know that he is currently missing. He is currently declared a fugitive from justice by the sole fact that he is evading prosecution, and that we know because, well, if he did not intend to evade, then he would show himself, knowing with the public notice that there is a warrant out against him, not just one but two, by two different courts. And so what we can work with right now is what the law provides us. What are these? Well, of course, there is the motion to cancel his passport, which is also in the works and is to be filed by the panel of prosecutors with the respective courts where the case is pending.
To limit his movement. But I asked that question because CIDG Chief Police Colonel John Giaki has mentioned that alam at pinaghandaan ni Atong Ang yung paglabas ng arrest warrant. And so we do know that in this case, there may have been or there is alleged involvement of the police and close relations between Atong Ang and the police. And PNP is looking into that, right? But so my question is, how do you contain this manhunt, the information around it, to make sure that he doesn't keep escaping each time the police does look for him in a specific location?
Okay, so the challenge there is there really isn't anything that well, insofar as the law enforcement agencies are concerned, no, they can only work within what's at their disposal and with the information that's been given to being given to them, with the resources that they have. If we could just backtrack, I think the tama sinabi mo no na in many ways na timbrehan siya, so to speak. Why? Because well, if you would the timeline of this case, if you just look back at it, is the resolution for his a judgment as being that the judgment that there was prima facie evidence with reasonable certainty of conviction that he did commit kidnapping with homicide and kidnapping and serious illegal detention. That resolution came way before the information was filed in court. It took some time. There was a gap in between. So he knew as soon as the resolution came out that warrants of arrest were to be forthwith issued by the courts once information was filed.
And so bakit
So
di
it-
siya binantayan agad at that point?
well, kasi syempre, until the warrants of arrest were issued, di ba, hindi pa siya mahahabol eh. In so far as bakit hindi siya binantayan, well, binantayan siya, just to be clear. Binantayan in the form of what what resources we have. So for example, the Bureau of Immigration was steadily and properly monitoring any possible record that he may be leaving the country. So wala naman nakita as to possible backdoor channels he may be exiting through. Binantayan din naman yun, no? So that is why we are confident that he is still here kasi wala kami nakita that could lead to any possibility or to any at least conclusive reason that he has exited the country. So wala talaga eh. That's why we're saying he's still here. The fact that we're considering that he may have left the country is just that margin, no, the small margin that or of course we cannot be too certain. Yun lang naman yun. So I think what the government should spend on and should really focus on, the department believes that it is to focus on looking at his current and past addresses. Whatever lead is available to us here locally, whatever information lead is available to us within our own jurisdiction.
So he is going to be charged with kidnapping, with homicide and kidnapping. No, from the DOJ standpoint, have you been able to piece together now if there was a pattern of this happening? Bakit homicide lang? Bakit hindi murder? At pangalawa, no, yung 34 missing sabongeros, is that an isolated incident, or has that been going on throughout the years? Is there a pattern of violence, in short, linked to Mr. Atong Ang? And is he the mastermind?
So as to the first question, kidnapping with homicide, bakit hindi murder? The kidnapping with homicide is a complex crime that encompasses, that subsumes even the act of murder. Okay? Hindi naman basta na just because it's just really the nomenclature of the crime. Tinatawag siyang kidnapping with homicide. That's not to say that murder was not committed, because we know that murder is committed when there was evident premeditation, where qualifying circumstances accompany that of the crime of killing someone. So pasok naman yan, no? Kidnapping with homicide is just the technical nomenclature, just to be clear. As to whether or not there was a serious violent, if there was a pattern, well, we can only speak insofar as what the resolution tells us. And there was a background, a history as to how this whole controversy began, as to what overt acts were present at the start of the controversy. So I think the resolution should speak regarding the history of this fact.
And so how does the DOJ and the PNP plan to tighten the search for Atong Ang? Is it correct that there's possible involvement of 4 retired generals? Are you getting that information?
That's within. I guess that I would have to defer to the DILG for that matter, as it is the governing agency with respect to law enforcement. I'm pretty sure, I'm certain that even the leadership of the NBI is doing its internal investigation on whether or not these allegations are true. But I think the department would always stand by the position that we have to tread carefully. We cannot accept any and all information that is being thrown around. Everything has to be verified because at the end of the day, the rule of law demands that you have to back up what you say. No? And any allegations din kasi with respect to uh, anomalous acts being performed by our own government officials should be looked into with care and attention to what the evidence backs that up, like I said.
Yun nga lang, because of the prudence being applied here by government, nalulusutan tayo. So it is also a race against time in looking for these persons of interest, right? But I want to go to because we don't have a lot of time left now. I want to go to another topic, which is the flood control probe. Several suspects have already been included into the witness protection program as state witnesses. That's Henry Alcantara, Roberto Bernardo, among others. What was the trade-off for this? We understand that certain details must be kept confidential, but what can you tell us about what they have committed to reveal, and what government has committed to them?
So, okay, just to be clear, generally speaking, the state witnesses have to tell all. Syempre, yun yung commitment that they agreed to. They have to tell everything they know. They have to disclose every little detail that has come to them based on since the start of their participation in this whole scheme. As to what these are, I'm afraid that is something we cannot disclose by virtue of the confidentiality provision of the WPSB law, which is the Protection, Securities, and Benefits Act, that says that any and all matters within the proceedings or within the memorandum of agreement that the parties have executed cannot be disclosed. And this is also to protect, syempre, the integrity of the proceedings to be done before the courts and that are currently pending before the panel of prosecutors in the DOJ. So, tell all lang talaga yon. I guess that's as far as I can say, you know.
Was the refusal to cooperate from Bryce Hernandez and JP Domasig? Just wondering why they were not on that list.
We know that the reason that they're not on the list is just the fact that they weren't qualified. They were not qualified. Yun lang naman yun. No? As to why they were not qualified, well, syempre, the WPP and its directors judged their qualifications based on the criteria set out by the law, which was there absolute necessity for their testimonies? Can their testimonies be corroborated in its material points? So these are the things, these are the criteria that we're looking into, and it appears the WPP has stated, as well as the Prosecutor General has stated, that upon assessment of their testimonies, they did not fit the criteria or satisfy the conditions to be state witnesses.
And what are the other developments in the pursuit of the other flood control projects? Alam natin na hindi lang iisa o dalawa ito, talagang marami, no? I know that the DOJ is in charge of handling personnel up to a certain salary grade. And so what's the latest? Meron pa ba tayong aasahan na upcoming arrests o mailalabas na desisyon?
Hindi. So even though now we're only working, you're correct in saying that the jurisdiction of the DOJ to investigate these cases is limited by the salary grade of below 27. Kasi above salary grade 27, salary grade 27 and above is within the jurisdiction of the ombudsman. But we remember that the DOJ and its panel and its prosecutors were deputized by the ombudsman to look into these cases. So kung may maasahan pa tayo, yes. Just to do a bit of a recap, we know that there was the initial batch of cases, and 5 cases in particular related to Sims Construction Trading. And then following that, there was a second batch of cases, 6 naman, so that's 5 plus 6 cases. The second batch of 6 cases were regarding or pertaining to Wow Construction and Top Notch Catalyst Builders as a contractor. involving also a number of high-profile individuals, one of whom is Senator Joel Villanueva, who currently has 3 cases pending with the DOJ under preliminary investigation. And then after that, we had the third batch of cases. Ito yung what we deem and what I think the public deems as high-profile, high-value cases na plunder. So again, as I've mentioned earlier, there are a lot of moving parts. A lot of things in the works. The short answer to the question is, can we expect? Yes, of course. Marami pa tayong aabangan na investigation and resolution.
I guess we shall await that and hopefully hindi tayo matakasan. We'll get this done in time. In the meantime, maraming salamat for updating us from the side of the Department of Justice. We have Attorney Polo Martinez, spokesperson
Thank you.
of the DOJ.